Monday, 9th of October. I just wanted to leave you a quick one here today. I hope it's getting quick and short, pretty short. I was talking about this luck stuff and trying to do it with the example of Germany, how they had been doing in the big competitions. And I still think I can point something out there and show you a couple of more of those examples, but maybe you would be more interested for now, although I consider this whole luck aspect a real important one to think about, and also maybe get more and more into this understanding of probabilities, right? Small probabilities coming true, or how happy you are after you win an unlikely bet. It would reflect, and if you're the favorite wins, you would not celebrate that much because that's rather, you took that for granted, and also so they could not exalted celebrations do any kind of, all that probabilities and the oscillation of probabilities that I was trying to show within the, it's something to do with tension. Are you excited about it if things are going up and down? And so you say, well, they were so close to winning, and then they conceded the goal or two goals, and then they came back. So this is some excitement, but maybe you would accept that if it happened, with you're involved into the game. So either your side is gonna win, so at the better end, or at the worse end, and it's gonna lose. So you're very unhappy. So you rather fancy a 3-0 win without you would ever have to worry. Or they win the championship, Man City or someone, or Chelsea, and so they win the first game and they win from then on and always top the table. You may be happy if you're a Chelsea supporter, but the others would say, well, that had been pretty boring. But and if there are the neutral kind of observers, right, what they would rather say, well, we would hope for some tension, and all this kind of tension is also why you and me as well could say, that's why we are betting, and the other, when do we start winning, or do we think about it, right? And I will also get into this monkey kind of game, right? Are you betting better than a monkey? And I will give you an example end of this week, and we can work it out, and maybe we can set up even a betting game kind of here and see who's doing better. And one thing I wanted to mention, at one point when I started in 1988 actually. But then I developed my software, and I didn't really go into betting, so I made my software. And in 1990, I set up this program that was finished. So I started with the big competition. So I had all those leagues entered and all that stuff, and the functions were running. So I started then, but I made you can say virtually one whole season. I made just and nothing but paper betting. That's what I would like to introduce to you, this term, and maybe you could do this as well. Paper betting, you would never lose any amount of money. You just write down your bets, and you can do them, that's what I did, just a single 1 unit per game. And then you write them all down, and you say, I would go for this, I would go for this, I would go for this. You have 100 bets, maybe one weekend, and then you say, oh, I would have won this, 140, I would have lost this, 2.8, whatever it is. You lost the unit, you won your unit times the price you had been getting, and see what results comes out. And we can also do this and compare it with a monkey doing it, right? I can simulate the monkey. He's just, he's hopping on the keyboard, right, and then 1x2, so whatever happens, right, and he doesn't have any idea of football, but still he will get some bets right, and he will have a result in the end, right? So maybe he's losing or he's winning, and so what I was trying to introduce to you today. So there's lots of things to come, and I'm trying to get myself and you as well closer to this, understanding this whole concept. It's So I had been about explaining this, kind of. Well, anyway, you could see in the background, maybe in the first video, I was interrupted here, so I cut that together. But that, I lost thread somehow now. It's a bit later now. But I was about to introduce to you this kind of betting game. So in case you bet between friends, that's what people do here quite often, but they usually use a bad system to do so. I mean, it's just entertainment usually. They just bet very small amounts, or so it doesn't matter that much if there's something lean in that. It's not quite mathematically correct, but they simply say that's the rules, so you can get the result right, or you can tendency right, or whatever, and they give points for that, and so on. But there is a better way to do that betting game with your friends, and it's all about probabilities. This is what I'm trying to say to you. So for the weekend, I mean 9th of October, so 5 days from now, it's going to be Liverpool Man U or Man City Stoke. So I picked two of the Premier League because you like that league most, and so maybe it's international league. I'm talking English, so usually it's one of the biggest league. I could also take Italian or Spanish, might be close to that. German Bundesliga maybe in 4th place international wise, but just by the interest into this league in the world, and quality, okay, maybe Spanish league, and second maybe German league, I don't know, but right now maybe the English league is better, and Italy a bit behind France as well. But okay. So these two games, I just selected them. So you can set up your what you do is you set up those probabilities that I'm trying to talk about all the time. Introduce this whole concept of those probabilities. That's what it's all about. And also the way to beat the market is via those probabilities. This is what I say. 29 years now doing so, and calculating those reverse odds, or the true prices by the reciprocal of this probabilities. So if you were able to do so, which you may not yet be, but I'm trying to show more and more concepts, and there are videos back when I showed some calculations already that you could possibly do yourself, but now you can anyway do this kind of betting game, and if you do this for money, you can have an instant evaluation. You could also enter here, this is a unit, I say 100 euros, so it's going to be more or less in this area of what you can win or lose. You could also take 10 or 1 euro, so you just make a friendly bets with your friends. But this is your friend. So you set up probabilities for what you think is gonna, every bet more or less consists of this. When I make a bet, at least it says, I bet this is not the right price. I bet this is not the right price. I do not bet this team is gonna win. I bet this is not the right price. And so what is the right price? The right price is the reciprocal of my probability, and this reciprocal is lower than your price, so the probability that I assess is higher than yours. So I could also say, by saying, if I make a bet, I say this is not the right price. I can also say the probability you calculated is too low for that. So I guess, or I calculated, I worked it out, the probability is bigger. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I just say the probability is better. The probability is on my side. So anyway, whatever event is going to come up, and you can take anything. I mean, if you say Chelsea to become champions of England, you can bet on that, and you can say 50%, you can say 70%, whatever you do, 30%, Man City 80%, whatever you have to distribute those 100% to all those teams, or in the 1x2 you have to share those 100% to all the possible outcomes, and then you started to use that concept. And if you do this with a friend, that's what I'm saying, you might have different assessments, and you can also say one of the two has to come first. Write down your probabilities, then I'm gonna write mine. So you got a comparison. So you say, oh, I think Liverpool are a bit more likely to win. Or you say, you do it independently, you sit in your room, everyone sets up, or you say, I send an email with mine, or we send it at the same time. I don't know. I made a sheet of paper below the table cover here, or something like that, and you put yours, and now we can compare, or whatever it is, right? You can work out ways so you do it on your own without comparing or without being able to compare with what the other one says. You can also do it for all the season. You can do it for the 30th match day today, and you just price up those games. You write down the probabilities. Then you say, we're going to work it out. I saw this people doing. They said, we bet all season, so you're going to predict all the results. So you have no market comparison. This is why I'm saying so. So you can't compare those prices with the market. And like that, you just make sure you do it independently, and everyone writes down a probability for what he thinks. So that's 100% have to be distributed here. And I say it's a pretty even game, so I'm player one. You say, oh, I think Liverpool are favorites. I saw them and they looked good. I don't know, whatever reasons there may be. So just you have those, as usual, you have those probabilities, and you have the inverse of that. And what is it important for? We want to bet on those prices. The only problem is, what amount of money do we have to bet on each other's prices, right? So if you make a true price of 222, then you say, well, I would like to get those 286 because this is my value, so I would like to bet on your price. But the other one would say, I would like to bet X and 2 because this is where I have the value, right? So player 1 would like to bet X and 2, player 2 would like to bet just the 1. But this is the same thing. He bets home win, the other one bets X and 2, he bets against the home win. So anyway, it's you would like to have bets on that because you say, this is the right calculation, this is my true price, this is my assessment of this game, here are the true prices, so if I get a better price, I'm gonna bet for it. So it's just the only problem is to work out the money you have to bet on that, on each other's prices. And this is the very simple formula, you see it here, D7 plus D8. So you just take this probability plus this probability, and this is the amount of money times the unit what you bet. So just add up those probabilities. So you will end up having 200% because that's total here is 200%. Either one has given 100% for the total. One thing is gonna have 1 XO2 100%, the other one 1 XO2 100%. So it's 200% the total. You bet these amounts of money. This is mathematically the only correct method. I could prove that, but we don't have the time for that. And what you see here are the outcomes. And obviously this is from the viewpoint of player one in this example here. So either he's gonna win, he's gonna lose 50.79 because he said this is far less likely than the other one says. So he's gonna lose some money in case. This is the payout you had to make, right? So after the match, you wrote down the probabilities. You have your 100 euro per unit. You can have €1, then it would be 50 cents you have to settle then in the end. But you just, and you can price up 10, 100 games, whatever you like. So you can make the totals of that. Who's better? Who's doing better at the market with this, or who's having the better probability calculation? And what you see here, those are the real settlements of the bets. And this is a simple calculation too, because what you say here, this is the amount we bet, and we both bet for this same amount on the other one's prices. So this is, you simply have to multiply this times the price minus, I can double click this here. So this times this price minus this times this price. Because this is the return. Either one is gonna get returned what he bets on the other one's quote or the other one's price. So he bet €80 for this price. The other one bet €80. This is the amount of money we worked out. So we work out the difference between those prices. This is the return. And this is the same for here. So either one can make some profit in case his higher probabilities are going to come. So if player 2 has a higher probability on X, he's going to win on X because he says, this is more likely, so I want some money on that. And I want some money here. The other one is only restricted to Liverpool's win, in which case he would win some money. Simple calculations. You can copy this sheet. I mean, this is very simple calculation. You have to make sure this is 100%. Those are the reciprocals here, you see here. Those are the sums of those two probabilities. You can also play with 10 players. You simply have to sum up all those probabilities so you know what each bets on every other player's price. And but I want to keep it simple here. I set up the Man City Stoke as well, just to show you when you have bigger differences and a high favorite. So what would the possible outcomes be? And he said this is 50%. Of course, this is ridiculous, you could say, but you could. Why? Someone says, I don't think Man City are gonna win this. It's the biggest favorite somehow, I think, in England this weekend. Anyway, who's gonna win? Player 1 is of course gonna win in case player 1. This is from viewpoint of player 1 here, the one plus 103. So he's gonna win in case this higher probability is gonna come. The other one is gonna win in those cases. He's winning more money. So if you were right on that, he's going to win more money. You, so to say, if you say 82%, you picked out a big favorite, a heavy favorite. So you want quite often to win that money, but you have to put up with losing a bit more in case it's not going to happen. And here is the simple calculation what those expectancy values would be in case the player 1 were right. So based on those 3 possibilities, you would have a positive equity. That's the term for that, right? Equity. We have an equity on our bets. So if this is the right assessment of the outcome of this game, Liverpool Man U, then he's going to have 4.06 expectancy. This is also a simple formula. You have to multiply the chance times the result of this, times the outcome, the possible outcome here. The result is, I can double click this so you see that. This is the probability times how much do I get or lose. And in case he's right, of course, he has the positive equity because he's making the good bet. In case player 2 were right, so this is the better assessment, player 1 would have a negative equity, player 2 would have the positive one. Man City Stoke, there's a pretty big difference here between those 2 assessments, so you have a much bigger equity, but just in case they are right. So if they were closer together, if this one were to 70%, I can enter this, and this one to 20%, something like that, then this equity would instantly go significantly down, right? So they are not, don't have such a big difference in their assessment, so it's more or less, you know, you're pretty even. So 70 or 82%, it is a difference. You have some positive equity, you also have some settlement to make. In this case, it's the same here because you evenly distributed the remaining percent in 12/6. This is twice as many, and this is 20/10. So you have the same result here in case the XR2 is going to come. So if you think Man City are not going to win, you're going to have a decent profit, but it's on the lower probability. So this is the only mathematical way to work it out properly. Anyway, I was introducing this to you for now. I'm going to check the time. It's 40 minutes, so well done. Very good. Hope to see you soon. Bye. Leave your comments. Hope you come back. All the best. Bye-bye.